Welcome everyone to the second video of women's history in Quebec and Canada. In this video, we're going to focus on the Industrial Revolution period. So that's from about 1850 to the beginning of the 1900s. Just to give you a quick historic context overview, during this time, we see the building of a lot of factories in mostly Montreal. Lots of families are moving from villages to Montreal, a bit Quebec City, and of course, a lot of them are moving to the United States. And the families usually are not very rich. There's a big working class that is quite poor. Usually, men, women, and the children have to work to earn a lot of enough money for the family. So let's jump right into it. An area of improvement for women during this period is in the education area. So we can see a lot more girls going to school. Even though girls' education is not necessarily as valued as boys' education, we can see, as you see in those statistics, 23.1% of girls went to school in 1842, but 75.6% of girls went to school in 1881. So that's a very big improvement for women and, of course, for all society. It's during this period that we all will also see the emergence of the first secular jobs for women. They were teachers and nurses, usually before they were married. Before that, nuns were doing that work. In terms of working conditions, we can see two big groups of women. So immigrant women, so women who came either from Europe or other British colonies, were mostly maids for wealthy family. They didn't have great conditions, not a big salary. They worked very long hours too. For Quebecers of European descent, they mostly worked in textile factories and other factories too. In both cases, the work was not very safe and sanitary. They often have to do very unsafe jobs, and they work very long days. Usually, women had to do other jobs, had to have other jobs at home just to make ends meet. So they would be seamstresses, sometimes they'd have roomers at home, and they would do often the cleaning or laundry for wealthier families. Uh, of course, domestic workload at home was not paid, and it was all on women to do. In terms of salary, women earned a lot less than men. They earned about $47 a week, as men earned about $12 a week. The reasoning behind it was that the man's salary was the family salary, and women's salary was the complementary salary. However, this reasoning didn't really work out because single mothers still earned about $47 a week, and single men with no children still earned about $6 to $12 a week. So that was a very wrong reasoning. Furthermore, women couldn't apply for certain jobs because they were seen as taking jobs away from men, taking a family's salary away from a family. So getting a job was already pretty hard, and then the salary that you had wasn't great to go with it. Another area of improvement that we can see during this period is in social and political involvement for women. Um, During this time, there wasn't really any support from Quebec or Canada's government for working class families who often had to rely on charity, for example, if a child was sick, if they lost their job. So women were the ones responsible for the charity work and was, of course, unpaid, but it was a very big social involvement for women. In terms more of politics, it's during the Industrial Revolution that we see the emergence of the first women's associations. We can see it through, for example, the Suffragettes in Manitoba and Ontario around the 1880s, 1890s. So that was a very big political involvement. So overall, during the Industrial Revolution, we can see very hard working conditions for women, uh, very unjust pays and salaries, but women are going more to school, they have access to a bit more jobs, and they're starting to be a lot more politically involved. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.